This is a story about a card shark. It's based on a dream that I woke up from the morning of February 24, 2021. The card shark went by the name of Bard. He had two abilities that served him well in life. The first was being a very accurate judge of human character, which played out in predictable human behaviors. There were no poker faces, as far as Bard was concerned. The second was the uncanny ability to be able to keep track of all the cards in the deck and be able to predict the cards to be laid. Bard never considered what he did as gambling, because gambling implied an unknown outcome. These two abilities enabled him to ensure a predetermined outcome, and he very seldom lost. The game he played took advantage to the fullest extent of these abilities. He was not interested in winning money as much as analyzing and verifying his perceptions of human character. The game he played was unlike your typical gambling card game. For one thing, Bard provided the funds for all the fellow players to finance their bets. He had $400 in the following denominations: 100 singles, 25s, 10 10s and 5 20s. His only stipulation in playing the game was that he had the 100 singles. This follows the age-old adage, the one with the money makes the rules. The other three players could choose which of the other denominations and the corresponding amounts they would play with. So each player started out with the same amount of money, but the varying denominations of that set amount. Before receiving the funds that Bard doled out, each player had to agree, winner takes all, and whoever won could keep their winnings. It took on the characteristic of a Monopoly game on steroids, with Bard providing the funds. You could call this a parable of the talents with several twists. Bard would begin with his quizzical question, would anyone like to play a game? Once he had 3 willing victims, he would begin by setting forth the rules of the game. This is where the ability of analysis of human character kicked in. He would ask who would like to receive the 5 $20 bills. As soon as the first taker jumped in, he knew that this person had a high probability of being the first one out of the game. The key to this whole endeavor was, when you make a bet, you have to use whatever denomination you have available. So the person with the 5 20s only had the ability to make a total of 5 bets or play 5 hands, however that worked out. The other 2 players would likewise make their choices in their denominations. Bard maintained a no change given out policy. Each player had to bet with whatever denomination they had chosen or any currency accumulated from winning previous hands. For example, if Bard bet $1, and another player wanted to match his bet, he had to use whatever denomination he had available. So this whole endeavor allowed Bard to have a lot more flexibility in the betting process. To minimize any accusation of cheating, Bard refrained from dealing. He would have the other 3 players take turns dealing each hand, using a fresh deck of cards. If Bard knew he didn't have a winning hand, he would bow out while the stakes were low. That would allow the other 3 players to battle things out to eliminate competition. When Bard knew he had a winning hand, he would raise the stakes to maximize his winnings. Effective use of these 2 strategies enabled Bard to walk away from the table with his initial investment intact. Setting the stage and observing the results can teach us volumes about human character as it relates to human behavior.